Mr. Barrett, do you believe that it's appropriate for the DFC to be undertaking domestic supply chain issues?
Senator, as you know, the president signed an executive order to give us that limited 2-year authority. I'm comforted by the fact that we have structured that so that that authority is going to take place under the Defense Production Act and not compete with the resources for the DFC in our international mission, which I'm committed to.
Yeah, well, when I helped create the DFC, I can tell you it's not what I was supportive of creating to do. The DFC is an international development role. And I don't expect, not only was it's not in its mandate, I don't expect that the staff and resources are going to be used to take away from the congressionally mandated mission. And so I'm seriously concerned about that. I'm also concerned, I successfully fought to include OPIC's environmental and social policy statement transferred to the DFC. I need to understand how the DFE published a new ESPS that looks very different from the ESPS that Section 606 of the BUILD Act was supposed to transfer. I need you to explain how these changes were made without violating Section 606. And I don't have anything against nuclear power. It exists in New Jersey. But I'm very skeptical of the DFC's new policy to consider proposals to build nuclear power plants in developing countries regarding security, environmental concerns, long-term debt, management constraints that nuclear plants would be crippling to many developing countries. So explain to me how what you all did as it relates to that provision doesn't violate what the law actually says.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Senator. And I've worked with your staff on that provision. Section 1466 of the BUILD Act did transfer OPIC's environmental policy to the DFC. Since that time, we did voluntarily notice for a period of public and comment a proposed change to the OPIC's nuclear policy. That was a voluntary effort on our end. We thought that it made sense that since BUILD Act was part of modernizing our development finance capabilities, to see if it made sense to take a fresh look at that policy. We heard from many members of the committee, got a lot of support for that change to allow us to consider nuclear projects. But I want to assure you that that does not change the countries that we would operate in or our developmental mandate. We believe strongly that energy is a key driver of economic development and see a role for the modern small medium reactors that are coming online in the future, and want to work closely with the committee as that policy develops to ensure that you have the information you need.
Well, if you're confirmed, but I will follow up with the agency no matter what, but if you're confirmed, I definitely want to follow up with you to make sure that what was the law maintains not only in its actions, but in its spirit as well.
Thank you, Senator. I want to comment just very briefly on your conversation with Mr. Burrier regarding the mission of the DFC and the way they're operating that. I think Mr. Burrier laid out really clearly, and I sincerely appreciate your concerns regarding the issues you raised. You know, the DFC's job is clearly spelled out. There's nothing more important to development than electricity and energy. Right now in my home state, the Idaho National Laboratory, which was a birthplace of nuclear power in the world, has built 52 different reactors. They're now in the process of building what they call the SMR, the small modular reactor. And even before that one's done, they've moved to the micro reactor that is actually portable. It's on a trailer. These things are going to be absolutely critical to development in difficult parts of the world. So I applaud what DFC is doing in that regard, and I'm not by that challenging your concerns about that. I think they're concerns that should be considered. But as we move forward, I think we all need to join together, particularly when we have the ability to do 1, 2, 3 agreements, and that hopefully will spread the use of electricity around the world and do it where we don't get proliferation. And we are the vendor instead of countries and vendors who don't care about the nuclear. So those are just a few more remarks that I have, but in no way do I demean what your thoughts regarding the operation. So thank you, Senator.